Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I will read you the headline of this article coming from Ukrainska Pravda, and then I will give you an analogy, and then we will analyze the article and see what arguments these guys bring to their claim. So we have here a below 86 IQ individual, which is obviously our US Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. And this article comes from Ukrainska Pravda. It is from May 11th, 2023. And this is what he says. West won't be dragged into war, but will support Ukraine as long as needed, according to the US Secretary of State. Of Defense, I'm sorry. So West won't be dragged into war, but will support Ukraine as long as need. My statement or my counter to that, my dispute will be you are already involved in a war and you will continue to support the war and be involved in it until you lack or you run out of resources. And your population will really do something crazy. Until then, you're gonna be still at war. Now, this is what's going on. The United States, or the West, he speaks in the name of the West, he's the Secretary of Defense of United States, but anyway, you have some people, you can call them, baboons, regardless if they're Ukrainian baboons, if they're Romanian baboons, if they're Polish baboons, or Baltic states baboons. There are some people over there. We're going to call them baboons. Nothing to do with the little monkey called baboon or something. Just, that's what I'm just want to call them that way. And we have these guys right here. Who gives these baboons? Baboons have nothing, only their red ass. That's all they got. But these guys, the West, gives the baboons weapons. Weapons, money, food, everything they need to fight the other baboons, the Russians. Okay? So you have these guys giving these guys everything they need to kill those guys. And those guys, they try to kill these guys right here. But these guys are not involved in a war. Now, if these guys will take the weapons from the first baboons that I mentioned, Ukrainians, Romanians, Poles, or whatever baboons these guys want to use. For them, they're all baboons. Romanians, baboons, Ukrainians, baboons, Poles, baboons. So for them, it doesn't really matter who's over there using the weapons. They're fighting for them. If those baboons will be Americans, will still be baboons. You understand? It's just a human being, an animal over there, just an organism that will use what these guys will give them. That doesn't really matter who they are. They could be American forces. If tomorrow the United States will have over there forces, those will be baboons using these guys' weapons. You understand? So it doesn't really matter if there's American, French, Ukrainians. All right? So yes, you are involved over there. Because you don't have your baboon over there, you have another baboon that you fight those guys. Because if you take the weapons, the baboon is done. Therefore, you are the origin of this baboon's fight. As good or bad it might be. Okay? Now, you might deny that, which he does deny that, because he says, well, we're not involved, we don't wanna. What? That was the exact word. We won't be dragged into war. You are dragged. This is like saying this. You got the tiger over there. I use this analogy over and over because I think it's kind of okay. It could be better ones used as well. You got a tiger or the lions, in a circus, the tamer, the trainer, and he uses two things. He uses the whip and a long pole to tame and to hit the tiger, the lion. Now, is this guy involved in taming those? Or the pole is involved? Or the whip? If the whip breaks, I take another one. But it's still me fighting, you know what I mean? If my pole breaks, I will take another one. Now, unless I'm eliminated, it's gonna be me using the whip the baboon, and the pole, the baboon, against the tiger or the lion. So this guy right here is United States of America and the other Western countries, and these are the baboons used, okay? And I supply them with intelligence, technique, and energy. Energy. And when they break, I take another one. So when these guys are saying, oh, we won't be dragged in a war, I think you are in a war already, but with baboon number one, which is Ukraine. When the Ukrainians are be all gone, you're going to bring baboon number two. But you're still going to be you. And the baboon I'm not involved, but it's going to be all the baboons. So let's go back to the article and see, maybe these guys have something to vomit around here. U.S. Secretary of Defense, Lloyd J. Austin III, oh my God, stressed the importance of preventing Washington and NATO from being drawn into a full-scale war in Ukraine, but said that support for Kiev will continue as long as necessary. What is a full-scale war? On top of what's over there? I tell you what it is. More baboons, which are going to be American baboons. It's going to be, I don't know, French baboons, British baboons. That's the only thing that you're going to bring. You're going to bring forces, a person. You already have the military, the infrastructure, let's put it this way. The weapons, the ammunition, you have them over there. The generals tell Zaluzny what to do, how to discuss, what to comment, they communicate all the time. Don't tell me they're not involved. They're just briefed by Zaluzny. Yes, Zaluzny. Yeah, okay, what's next? Okay, yeah. You do whatever you want, man. It's your war. We're just here to help because you were always good. You remember that? We're always good. We're exceptional. So they are at war with the baboon number one. And they're gonna, if they bring baboon number three, which let's say a United States Army, it's still gonna be a baboon, because there's no difference between an American carrying a weapon and a Ukrainian carrying a weapon. It's not a difference a Ukrainian using a Patriot system or a HIMARS or an American. Why do you think the American's gonna have two pairs of balls or something? What do you think is gonna be the difference? You're gonna use the same weapons. You're gonna add some more, but that would be it. What will the United States use that is not using yet? The F-35 or something? They are afraid to use the F-16. Do you think they're going to use the F-35? They are afraid to use it because they might be stolen by the Russians. Secrets in the F-16. So you design something that you're not going to use it because you're afraid to use it. Then why did you design it? Use it. They're going to catch up with that. You invent something else because you are the inventors of the world. I heard. That's how the story goes. And for the most part, was true. All right? I'm just talking about the United States of America, not the West in general. Okay? So, let's see. Maybe we find something else in this article, which I doubt. But anyway. It said, NATO from being drawn into a full-scale war in Ukraine. That means bringing our baboons. That would be the only difference, the numbers. But said that support for Kiev will continue as long as necessary. I told you what it is. Now, U.S. Defense Secretary said that over the past year, U.S. has committed more than $32 billion in security assistance. I made an article today, and it said something about $67 billion provided already in defense. I used an article saying that. It was from the Weasels. I think it was from the Business Insider. Austin mentioned the Ukraine defense, probably from all the Weasels. Austin, that was from, it doesn't say the time, no. The past year. Okay, over the past year. But those guys said from February, and even had a graph. From February 24, 2022 until now, they say $67 billion in military assistance, supposedly, weapons and ammunition and all that. And they said in December had the biggest number of billions. So let's see. Austin mentioned the Ukraine Defense Group, a coalition of 50 countries. Ukraine Defense Contact Group. That is this how many countries fight against Russia. That have collectively committed approximately $20 billion in security assistance to Ukraine. He said that the U.S. will continue to support Ukraine's fight for freedom for as long as it takes. Yeah, okay. He added that though President Biden's U.S. $842 billion defense budget request for fiscal year 2024 is high, it will provide the US with the capabilities to respond to global security challenges. Who said that you are in charge of the global security again? You make your security as the global security. Well, it's kind of like arrogant, and it's only you who can do that. Anyway, my friends, remember, a coalition of 50 countries. So when you hear Ukraine fights Russia, yeah, okay. So this is it, my friends. These guys are telling us this script over and over and over again. And if you know about it over and over and over again, it becomes irritating as shit. But some people really believe in that. Really believe that, yes, we'll just support them and they are over there, unprovoked attacks by the Russians, and the Russians are the criminals all the way, they have nothing. And I was like, you got to be a child. There's nuances and there's more information available. You just have to put a little bit of mental and physical effort. That's all the physical effort you have to do. This, and keep your eyes. Maybe breathe. Some go wash your whatever. That's all you need to do. Effort. Instead of watching stupid view or a game, you do that. I think that's more important. But hey, what can you do? We all have our preferences, you remember? And I'm okay with that. The problem is that those guys, there will be know-nothings. They will vote against you that know. You, who knows? Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.